जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपियन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस अभिचरण भक्तिदान स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्तिदान सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। संवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Om. Jai Shri Hare Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। So on the board the verse is 148 canto. Actually 69 and 1. So the verse is okay, 69 is 69 verses. Krishnaya pranipratya कृष्णाय प्रणिपात्यः भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रज अवकोशम् भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रज अवकोशम् वासुदेवाय रमाय वासुदेवाय रमाय राज्ञे चोप्यानि आदद राज्ञे चोपयानानि आदत् कृष्णाय प्रणिपत्य भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रजौकशम् वासुदेवाय रमाय राज्ञे उपयानानि आदत् कृष्णाय प्रणिपत्याहम् भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रजकोशम् वासुदेवाय रमया राज्ञे चोपयानानि आदत् कृष्णाय प्रणिपत्याय भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रजौकाशम् वासुदेवाय रमाय रजने चोपयानानि आदत् कृष्णाय प्रणिपत्याय भक्ति उद्रेकं व्रजौकाशम् वासुदेवाय रमाय रजने चोपयानि आदत् Translation. Word to word meaning. Krishnaya, to Lord Krishna. Pranipatya, after falling down to pay homage. Aha, he told. Bhakti, of pure devotion. Udrekam, the abundance. Braja Okasham, of the residents of Braja. Vasudevaya, to Vasudeva. Ramaya, to Lord Balrama. Rajne, to the king Ugrasena. Cha, and Upayanani, the items received in tribute. Adat, he gave. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunatanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahakana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुति देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। What word meaning? Krishnaya, to Lord Krishna. Pranipatya, after falling down to pay homage. Aha, he told, bhakti of pure devotion. Udrekam, the abundance. Vraja okasham, of the residents of Vraja. Vasudevaya, to Vasudeva. Ramaya, to Lord Balrama. Rajne, to the king Ugrasena. Cha, and Upayanani, the items received in tribute. Adat, he gave. After falling down to pay his homage, Uddhava described to Lord Krishna the immense devotion of the residents of Vraja. Uddhava also described it to Vasudeva, Lord Balrama and King Ugrasena, and presented to them the gifts of tribute he had brought with him. So in this translation, Uddhava is offering his obeisance to the gopis. So nice. Uddhava did not offer obeisance so much respect to the residents of Dwarka, Krishna's wife, but here is offering very homage to the gopis, with falling down to pay his homage. We repeatedly see in this interaction of offering obeisances to the Lord and his pure representative God devotees. When one is Krishna consciousness, he sees every living entity as his soul. That's very high stage. But offering obeisances, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, always think of me, become my devotee, offer my obeisance to me. Thus usually come worship me, and thus usually come. Also, Manmana Bhakto Madhyaji Mamnam is called, think of me, become my duty, offer me obeisances. Worship me, to me. So, Dandavat, that's called Dandavat, like falling like a stick. The stick represents as 3 sticks in Vaishnava. There's Kaya, Manasa, Vacha. By body, mind and words. One should dedicate his life. So in this whole pastimes, this is a beautiful pastimes where there is an interaction of the Lord and his pure devotee. Sorry, gopis and the devotee. Three people known: Krishna, Uddhava and the gopis. The reciprocation. They are always, though they are seeing a bee, they are thinking to be a messenger of Krishna, one of the gopis, and she is meditating on Krishna. Though she is thinking herself very unfortunate and thinking the position, though her rivals, gopis, the rivals, the queens of the residents of they were considered very fortunate to have the association of Krishna. And so constantly they were thinking of Krishna, glorifying of Krishna, worshipping Krishna, offering obeisance to Krishna. This is all Krishna consciousness, always chanting the glories of the Lord, the nature of the Mahan, great Atma, Mahatma. So in material, there is 3 energies. There's material energy, there's marginal energy, and there's internal energy. So the Mahatmas, they are on the internal energy. We, the living entities, we can go to the material energy, or we absorb in spiritual this. So when we are totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness, engage in Krishna conscious, whole body, mind and soul. That's called transcendental. We heard in this age of Kali Yuga, the vibration, the sound. In all this also, the gopis, they were chanting loudly the holy name of Lord in when they were disturbed. So especially in this age of Kali Yuga, the vibration, the holy name of the Lord is emphasized. There are three stages of life. One is the bodily conception of life, one is the mental conception of life, and so intellectual collect, and then one is the soul platform. That's transcendental. That's how chanting, Kirtanat eva. One should be very absorbed. One should see whether his time is not wasted. That's what our whole day, what we do, that affects our consciousness. What we see, what we eat, how we utilize our time. Right? Hare Krishna. So that's total transcendental. It's a body platform, mind platform, intellectual platform, and the soul platform. That's what Krishna consciousness is. We are not this body, we are soul. This is a very beautiful pastimes. I'm reading from there, the gopis' interaction and Uddhava, how he's offering respects. And the second verse, we have two verses in this. The second is on Krishna pleases his devotee. It's about Kubja. In this chapter, Lord Sri Krishna first visits Trivakra, also known as Kubja, and enjoys with her, and then he visits Akrura. The Lord sends Akrura to Hastinapur to satisfy the Pandavas. So previously we heard about the gopis. They were on the very high platform, transcendental platform. That love was very pure. But here Kubja, she had come in a lusty to serve Krishna, and she also was delivered. So in whatever situation of life we are in, Prabhupada says, one who comes to Krishna conscious, he becomes purified. Whether he is lusty, he comes in a stealing mentality, everyone benefits. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai were the most sinful personalities. They did all sort of sinful activities, but they also were delivered. So that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, Mahavadanya. He came to deliver the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. So this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This sound vibration will elevate our consciousness to pure consciousness. So in this chapter it says, Lord Sri Krishna first visits Trivakra. Trivakra means three bended form. She had a hunchback. So her name was Kubja. And because Krishna had promised, when Krishna was visited Mathura on the order of Akrura, because Kamsa was sent by Akrura to bring Krishna for a wrestling match. So Kamsa's intention was to kill Krishna and Balram. So yeah, so they met, and the Kubja was taking a sandalwood pulp to Kamsa, beautiful, nice scents. And when she saw Krishna, and Krishna told, you offer to me, then she told, this is for the king, but you are so handsome, and she offers to Krishna this wonderful sandalwood paste. Sandalwood paste is, there's a place in Malaysia. Before it was Malaya Chandan. It was famous for Malaya Chandan, Prabhupada says. But now they make rubbers, rubber trees. They signed it. In South India also, in Kerala also, we'll find that. We'll find sandalwood trees also. Sandalwood trees is very, means you feel very cool. The snakes reside there, mostly snakes in the sandalwood trees. Because snakes, what is warm, it feels cool like that. After Uddhava had related to Sri Krishna the news of Braja, the Lord went to the home of Trivakra, which was decorated with diverse ornamentation, conducive to sexual enjoyment. Trivakra welcomed Krishna with great respect, giving him a raised seat, and together with her female companions, worshipping him. She also offered Uddhava a seat as befitted his position. But Uddhava simply touched the seat and sat on the floor. See, this is humility. Uddhava is a very exalted devotee of Lord, but that's also Prabhupada quotes on sitting also. He says, Uddhava is seat as befit his position, but Uddhava simply touched the seat and sat on the floor. There's very nice pastimes of Romaharshan, comes in Bhagavatam. He was giving Bhagavatam class and one of the devotees, very exalted Vaishnava, he was meditating on Krishna's pastimes, and Romaharsan felt insulted, right? Did not offer respects like that. This one, is that correct? Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yeah, and Balram came, right? Or Romas and Balram came. Yeah. Balram, yeah, he didn't offer obeisance, Balram, and then Balram with his peacock's feather, he threw it and killed the Romans and like that. Another, also one pastime is there where Vaishnava was giving lecture and Goswami comes and he will say, he's absorbed in Krishna's pastimes, but they think him offense, like he was rolling on the ground and they committed an offense at him. Here also we can see here, after Uddhava had related in Krishna the news of Braja, the Lord went to the home of Trivakra, which was decorated with diverse ornamentation conducive to sexual enjoyment. Trivakra welcomed Krishna with great respect. Here we can see this Kubja is welcoming Krishna with great respect and giving him a raised seat, and together with her female companions worshipping him. So Kubja is offering a seat to Krishna, and then with her companions she is worshipping him. It's also said that if you want to get Lakshmi, then you have to worship Lakshmi Narayan with love and devotion. Lakshmi is Chanchala, she doesn't stay. But wherever Narayan is there, she stays. Narayan is within everyone's heart. There's some philosophers, Mayavadi, they worship themselves, they think themselves as Narayan. They say Daridra, that's an offense. Daridra means poor, Narayan. Lord, how can Lord be poor like that? So here he says here, Trivakra welcomed Krishna with great respect, giving him a raised seat. So in all these pastimes, offering respect to a devotee, glorifying a devotee, offering nice foodstuffs. Here we can also see here. Trivakra welcomed Krishna with great respect, giving him a raised seat, and together with her female companions worshipping him. She also offered Uddhava a seat as befitted his position. Today at present people are working so hard they don't have time mostly. But this is an etiquette like that. They spaced out like that. Whole energy is used in material activities like that. Here it says that she also offered Uddhava a seat as befitted his position. But Uddhava simply touched the seat and sat on the floor. Uddhava sat on the floor. Lord then Krishna reclined on an opulent bed as the maid servant. Also, Prabhupada also quotes like the furniture. Furniture is a modern this, but because people in the West, especially like so, aged people they cannot sit on the floor. So that's furniture like that too. Otherwise, they will not come like that. Lord Krishna then reclined on an opulent bed as the maid servant. Lord then Krishna then reclined on an opulent bed as the maid servant Trivakra elaborately washed and decorated herself. Yeah, Prabhupada was given the best of best cars. So once Prabhupada was, the people were envious like that. Prabhupada said, You don't give me a very raised, make a very Vyasasana opulent in front of the karmis because they will be envious. Hare Krishna. That's nice here. Lord Krishna then reclined in an opulent bed, but Krishna, Lord's representative, should be give the best of best things should be offered. Lord, so here also in this, before the translation, we heard giving gift. That is one of the qualification of the love, yeah. Giving gift and accepting gift. If you just take, it's not good. You should give also. That's all. So here we can. Lord Krishna then reclined on an opulent bed as the maid servant Trivakra elaborately washed and decorated herself. Then she decorated herself. So when you go to Krishna, one has to be clean by consciousness. Also, when we come, we have to be a pure consciousness. Otherwise, we'll be disturbed. So coming to the temple also should be clean, and we also have to be clean. All the places should be very clean like that. So here we can see Lord Krishna then reclined as an opulent bed. There are two cleanliness, external and internal cleanliness. External cleaning of dress, very nice cloth we should wear. Daily should be washed. In India, there are rivers some rivers are for pot cleaning, some rivers are washing clothes, some are for cooking, like that. They are all rivers because water staying in one place becomes stagnant. We don't get now pure water also, Kali Yuga, so it's all chemicals. Here it says, Lord Krishna then reclined on opulent bed as the maid servant Trivakra elaborately washed and decorated herself. She became very clean. You have to come to the Lord means you have to be clean. Then you can approach the Lord. There's different types of mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, all under these three activities. Then she approached him. Krishna invited Trivakra to the bed and began to enjoy with her in the various way. By embracing Lord Krishna, Trivakra freed herself of the torment of lust. So she had come in the lusty, but Krishna embraced Trivakra and she also was there. She asked Krishna to remain with her for some time, and the considered Lord promised to fulfill her request in due course. He returned with Uddhava to his residence. Apart from offering sandalwood paste to Krishna, Trivakra never performed any pious acts, yet simply on the strength of the piety of this single act, she attained the rare personal association of Sri Krishna. How she became free from lust, here it says, she asked Krishna to remain for some time, and Lord promised her that he will fulfill her desire. Then he went along with Uddhava to his residence. And Kubja, she offers sandalwood paste to Krishna. And Trivakra had no good qualifications. She had no pious credits. In this, before also past times, we heard that Uddhava is saying to the gopis that after performing many pious activities, one can worship Krishna. So coming to devotional service also is you need a lot of pious credit. Or remaining in Krishna consciousness also you need a lot of pious credit, it says. But here we can see Trivakra never performed any pious act. Yet simply on the strength of the piety of this single act, she attained the rare personal association of Sri Krishna. This reminds once when one homeless in New York temple, then when a homeless came and he kept some papers in the toilet, and Prabhupada said he did some devotional service. Here in this also we can say Trivakra, she had never performed any pious act, but on the single act she attained the personal association of Krishna. In also Bhagavad Gita says, Svalpapyasya dharmasya trayati mahatubhayat. In this endeavor there is no loss. Little endeavor on this path can save you one from the greatest danger of repeated birth and death in activities in devotional service. It never goes vain. Sri Krishna next went to Akrura's house with Lord Baldev and Uddhava. Sri Krishna next went to Akrura's house with Lord Baldev and Uddhava. Akrura honored the three of them by bowing down and presenting them with suitable sitting places. Then he worshipped Rama and Krishna, washed their feet, and poured the water in his head. Akrura also offered them many prayers. uh, in this it says, then Krishna, after promising Kubja and satisfying her desire, and she was delivered because she came in a lustful propensity, she offered sandalwood paste, and she also got the highest position here. Association of Krishna. Next, after that, Krishna is going to Akrura's house with Baldev and Uddhava. And all these three of them, Akrura, Baldev, and they worshipped, Baldev, Akrura and Uddhava, they honored Krishna. Again, it says, they gave him a nice place. It's also said that Guru's place, one should not sit in the place where the Guru is. It's considered big offense. It's a very big offense where a pure representative of Lord sits in that Vyasa, like that. He said one should not sit there. In the worship, we will find it, Pancharatik Vidhi. In the beginning, it says it's a great office where we should not sit in the place where the Vaishnavas, exalted Vaishnavas, pure representative. Here we can also see here Akrura house with the Lord and Uddhava. Akrura honored the three of them by bowing down. Again, it is again repeated. I offer my humble, respectful obeisances. In all the prayers it says, all in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, offering all respectful, humble obeisances to the Vaishnavas and then all the main deities of the Lord. Lord Krishna was pleased with Akrura's prayers. He told them, since Akrura was in fact their paternal uncle, Krishna and Balram should be the recipients of protection and mercy. Lord Krishna was pleased with Akrura's prayers. He told him that since Akrura was in fact their paternal uncle, Lord Krishna was pleased with Akrura's prayers. He told him that since Akrura was in fact their paternal uncle, Krishna and Balrama should be the recipients of his protection and mercy. He says, Akrura was his paternal uncle. He told him that since Akrura was in fact their paternal uncle, Krishna and Balram should be the recipients of his protection and mercy. If we want a mercy, we have to worship, we have to please the pure devotee, and Balram, we have to pray to them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balram, they can grant. Even Radharani is pleased, then Krishna is pleased. We cannot direct approach Krishna. This is the process. Here he says, Akrura was the uncle but he received the mercy of protection and mercy of Lord Krishna. Then praised Akrura as a saint and purifier of the sinful. He asked him to visit Hastinapur to find out how the Pandavas, deprived of their father, were faring. Finally, the Lord returned home, taking Balrama and Uddhava with him. And Lord Krishna asked how the Pandavas were doing, and he then went along. Lord Krishna went along with Balram and Uddhava with him. So this is the summary of this chapter. Kubja, she approached Krishna, and how she offered respects, honor, and offered sandalwood. She came in a lusty. Her love was not like the love of the gopis, but she also got the association of Krishna. And then after that, Uddhava, Balde, Akrura, and Uddhava honored Baldev and Krishna, and Akrura was sent, glorified Krishna with nice prayers. This is chapter. So that's the verse. Sri Shuka Vacha Ataviknaya Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarshana Sairandya Kama Taptaya Priyam Icham Graham Yayom. Sukdev Goswami said, next, after assimilating Uddhava's report, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Person of Godhead, the omniscient soul of all, that be desired to satisfy the serving girl Tribhaka, who was troubled by lust, thus he went to her home. So Sukadeva Goswami is narrating to Parikshit Maharaj. After getting the report from Uddhava, Krishna went to Tribhaka's house and satisfied her lusty desires. Purport. This text gives an interesting insight into the Lord's pastime. The first line says, Atha Vignaya Bhagwan. Thus the Lord, understanding Uddhava's report, the second line states that Lord Krishna is the soul of everything, Sarvatma, and the seer of everything, Sarvadarshana. In other words, although he certainly does not depend on spoken reports from messengers. He plays the part of a human being and listens to news from a messenger, not out of need as we would do, but in the bliss of his spiritual pastime, exchanging love with his pure devotee. The word Sarva Darshana also indicates that the Lord perfectly understood the feelings of the residents of Braja and was perfectly reciprocating with them within their hearts. Now in his external pastime, he desired to bless Srimati Trivraka, who was about to be freed from the disease of material lust. The purport here says, the text gives an interesting insight into the Lord's pastimes. The first line says, Atha Vignaya Bhagavan. Thus the Lord understanding Uddhava's report. The second line says that Lord Krishna is the soul of everything, Sarvatma, and the seer of everything. So Lord is within every living entity. Suppose a dog, he gets a body of a dog because of his previous activities. But the Lord is so kind, he is within his heart also. Everything is Krishna's energy in other sense. That doesn't mean everything is Krishna. But he says, Lord Krishna is the soul of everything, Sarvatma. So that's one of names, Sarvatma. He is within every bird's heart. The seed of everything, Sarva Darshana. He sees and he's the seer of everything. In other words, although he certainly does not depend on spoken reports from messengers, he plays the part of human being and listens to the news from a messenger. He is hearing the news from the messenger, Uddhava. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Gopi, Hare Krishna. Jeev jago. Wake up. Don't sleep. Take enough rest. Hare Krishna. We do, but in the bliss of his spiritual pastimes, exchanging love with his pure devotee. The word Sarvadarshana also indicates that the Lord perfectly understood the feelings of the residents of Raja and was perfectly reciprocating with them within their hearts. So he understood the heart of the residents of Raja. He did not need any messenger, but he's playing a pastimes as a human being. He's hearing from Uddhava this year. Lord perfectly understood the feeling of the resident and was perfectly reciprocating with them within the hearts. Now in his external past, he desired to bless Srimati Trivaki, about to be freed from the disease of material lust. Hare Krishna. We will be reading some of the verses for our review. Very nice prayers, remembering of Krishna, the gopis. It says from 16. The gopis seeing the messenger, the bee as a messenger of Krishna, and she is remembering the pastime of Krishna. You see here. Keep your head off my feet. I know what you are doing. You expertly learned diplomacy from Mukunda, and now you come as his messenger with flattering words. But he abandoned those who for his sake alone gave up their children, husband, and all other relation. He is simply ungrateful. Why should I make up with him now? So in this, the gopis are considering themselves very not so fortunate. They were considering the residents of Dwarka Mathura to be very fortunate. And seeing through the bee, they are telling here, he abandoned those who for his sake alone gave up their children, husbands, and all other relations. He is simply ungrateful. The gopis were constantly remembering of Krishna. That's what Krishna consciousness, always glorifying Krishna, remembering Krishna, worshipping Krishna, offering respects to Krishna, describing of the glory for the Lord. Like that. Always chanting. Another verse in Mahatmas, the great souls always offer me respects, with great respect, offering prayers. Like that. They always constantly, Mahatmanas tu Maham Parta. They are in the Devi Prakriti. They are not on the material platform. Then further, they are giving the example. They are saying that we give up everything and Krishna abandoned us. In the next verse, they are giving the example of the Bali Maharaj, how he was killed by Krishna in the pastimes of Rama. Like Bali Maharaj, Sugriva, because Sugriva wanted to help Rama uh, with the monkeys to say to because Sita was kidnapped from Rama. So Sugriva helped. So they are giving the example of another. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman, that is Surpanaki, who came to him with lusty desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaj, he bound him up with ropes as if he were a crow. Bali Maharaj was asked 3 steps of land, and then he was bound like the crow, he says here. So let us give up all friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we can't give up talking about him. So, there's a different, they're remembering the pastimes of Krishna and they're talking here. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. It says here, to hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. Srinivatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. It says Srinivatam, hearing about Krishna, even by this we will accumulate pious deeds, by hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam, daily. In this also, past time this Gopi sing, yeah, not here it's saying, not Gopi here. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. 3 verses. Before that, the gopis are saying, we left everything and Krishna left us. We abandoned our family, everything. But he abandoned us and they condemn themselves. And next is how Bali Maharaj was killed by Ram, like that. And next, now here it says, to hear about the pastime that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. Material duality is ruined means there is in material there is hankering and lamenting. If one has, he is concerned somebody may take away. He doesn't has, he is lamenting. Because if he has also, this body is temporary, right? It will be finished someday. If it doesn't has, he is lamenting, it doesn't has. I don't have, what will happen? Yes, but here it says, for those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. So much if you want to get out of this material entanglement, hearing about Krishna is very much emphasized. Such persons have certainly given up their wretched homes and families and themselves became wretched, traveled here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds begging for their living. So we see in Vrindavan all the Babajis, they go to Vrindavan, they give up all material life and they are totally absorbed in Krishna's pastimes. They have only one duty, how to please Krishna. There's a lot to go here. Many prayers are there. We have a lot of time short. Faithfully taking his deceitful words as true, we became just like her black, foolish wives, who trust the cruel hunter's song. Thus we repeatedly felt the sharp pain of lust caused by the touch of his nails. O messenger, please talk about something besides Krishna. Faithfully taking his disciple, here they're comparing to the black deers, foolish wives, because the hunter, by his music, is trapping the deer, because the hunter's senses are very strong, hearing sense, and they become victim. Here they're comparing to it. The gopis are comparing to these deers. Faithfully taking his disciple words as true, we became just like the black deer's foolish wives, who trust the cruel hunter's song. Thus we repeatedly felt the sharp pain of lust caused by the touch of his nails. O messenger, please talk out about something besides Krishna. Krishna. So it's a lot of prayers are there, chapters. But it's all that in this pastimes, whole Uddhava, the gopis, Krishna, the residents of Vrindavan, Nand Maharaj, Lakshmi. These are the few personalities in this. But ultimately, the gopis, how they are very eager to hear about Krishna. They are also meditating of Krishna. They are glorifying Krishna. And Uddhava is giving the message of Krishna. It's all interaction, glorifying of Krishna, remembering Krishna, offering obeisance to Krishna. This whole chapter is of that. And offering respects to the devotee and offering respects to the Lord. We have to have very humble, offer respectful obeisance to the Lord and the devotees as well. And we have to be absorbed in hearing of them. And the glories, they were disturbed, they were chanting the Lord's name holy. So the chanting of name of Lord Hare Krishna, it will bring us to into the transcendental platform. And the more we absorb, then more we will be in this platform. So when our focus should be Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, we should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should not waste time. Prabhupada also says, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. The hippies were turned to be happies by chanting Hare Krishna. The hippies, they were in the 1960s, Srila Prabhupada came and he just was chanting Hare Krishna in Tompkins Squares. Just by one pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada also says in the Bhagavad Gita introduction that if I turn one person to a pure devotee, my mission is successful. So in this pastime Uddhava, we can see. So what is the eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service? An account of his association with Mahatmas or great souls, 100% engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one may attain a little bit of attraction for Sri Krishna. So International Society of Krishna Consciousness is meant for this purpose. That's the whole program from morning to night. So we are so fortunate to come. It says here, on account of his association with Mahatmas or great souls, 100% engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one may attain a little bit of attraction for Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada single-handed started this movement, so we have so much people. Because just by engaging in devotional service, one may attain a little bit attraction for Krishna by coming in contact with a Mahatma, a great soul. So everybody got books, prasad, somehow they came to Krishna consciousness because of a pure representative of God, he says. On account of his association with Mahatmas or great souls, 100% engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one may attain a little bit attraction for Sri Krishna. A little bit attraction by associating with Mahatma, great souls, who are 100%, it says, engaged in devotional service. This is a good statement here. But at the same time, one may remain very much attached to fruity activities and material sense enjoyment and not be prepared to undergo the different types of renunciation. Such a person, if he has unflinching attraction to Krishna, becomes an eligible candidate for discharging devotional service. So two things here it says. One, he comes with some material fruitive desire and is attached to sense enjoyment. And one who comes in contact with my great soul, he will get attraction to Krishna a little by serving a great soul. Yeah. It says, at the same time, one may remain very attached to fruitive activities. So there is karma kanda, jnana kanda, and then they all considered to a pot of poison, he says. But that karma also can become karma yoga if he doubted with Krishna's, for the pleasure of Krishna. So similarly, he also says, but one at the same time, that becomes karma yoga, if it does in Krishna consciousness. One may remain very much attached to fruity activities and material sense enjoyment. So he wants Krishna also, but he wants fruity, he is engaged in fruity activity and he wants sense enjoyment. He may not be prepared to undergo the different types of renunciations. Different types of renunciation. So there are different ashramas, varna and ashramas, like that. Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, and then Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. He says, But at the same time, one may remain very much attached to fruity activities and material sense enjoyment and not be prepared to undergo the different types of renunciation. Srila Prabhupada also said, especially when he came to the West, he said, these people want to drown in Maya. They like to drown in Maya. So Prabhupada said, okay, get married here. Yeah. He wanted disciples like that. He says, but at the same time, one may remain very much attached to fruity activities and material sense enjoyment, not be prepared to undergo the different types of renunciation. Such a person, if he has unflinching attraction to Krishna, becomes an eligible candidate for discharging devotional service. There are many verses in Bhagavad Gita, also 4 kinds of people come to me. Out of that, one person who is in knowledge, he is considered very fortunate like that. In this also says, if he comes to a person, associate to a person who is 100% engaged in devotional service, then he will have a little bit attraction for Krishna by serving a great soul, coming in association with a great pure representative of God. And another, it says, even if he cannot follow all these things, he is engaged, he is attached to fruity activity and sense enjoyment. But if he has attraction to Krishna, he becomes an eligible candidate for discharging devotional service Krishna. This attraction for Krishna consciousness in association with pure devotees is a sign of great fortune, it says. This attraction for Krishna consciousness in association with pure devotees is a sign of great fortune. It is confirmed by Lord Chaitanya that only the fortunate persons, by the mercy of both a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna, will get the seed of devotional service. In this connection, Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, my dear Uddhava, only by exceptional fortune does someone become attracted to me. And even if one is not completely detached from fruitive activities or not completely attached to devotional service, such service is quickly effective. Means, next it says, this attraction for Krishna consciousness in association with pure devotees is the sign of great fortune. So this association one should not take cheap. This association of devotees and especially pure devotees, says, is the sign of great fortune, it says. Before I give one statement that if you want to worship Krishna, Radha and Krishna with Lakshmi Narayan also, if we worship, the Lakshmi stays there because Narayan stays within everyone's heart. So wherever Narayan is there, Lakshmi is there. Otherwise, Lakshmi is chanchal. Yeah, but here it says, this attraction for Krishna consciousness, one should daily worship. This attraction for Krishna consciousness in association with pure devotee is the sign of great fortune. It is confirmed by Lord Chaitanya that only the fortunate person, by the mercy of both a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna, will get the seed of devotional service. Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. It was only by mercy of a bona fide Guru and Krishna. So two things are important in spiritual life: mercy of Lord and mercy of his exalted devotee. Will they get the seed of devotional service? In this connection, Lord Krishna says, my dear Uddha, only by exceptional fortune does someone become attracted to me. Even one is not completely detached from fruity activities or not completely attached to devotion, such service is quickly effective. Even though he may be not attached to devotional service, but by engagement in association of devotees, will surely benefit. He will be freed from this, he will be purified. So, this one from Bhakti Yoga, it also says about one should develop love for God. It says, love is the one of the words. Love is used mostly because some love lives for temporary, some lives for lifelong, and some is for forever. That's for the love for God. Love is one of the words we use the most and understand least. The problem is that there are many kinds of love. One of the distinction we can make between different kinds of love has to do with time, duration, how long love lasts. Some love lasts a few days, some last a lifetime, and some last forever. Most lovers aspire for the latter, but in vain. Hare Krishna. So mostly lovers aspire for the last one, which lasts forever. But in vain, he says. Love between bodies is found to be temporary because the lovers' bodies are temporary. But what about the soul? Will the lover not meet in eternal spiritual world and there enjoy deathless love? He says love between body is bound to be temporary because the lower bodies are temporary. But about the soul, will the lovers not meet in the eternal spiritual world and there enjoy deathless love? So this is a question. If the body is temporary, and what about the soul? They will not meet in the spiritual world. And the question is, how do we get to the spiritual world? That requires a special kind of love. The love between the individual soul and the supreme soul, God. Actually, we are caught in a web of temporary, unsatisfying loving relations because we have now forgotten how to love God. The spiritual love between the individual soul and the supreme soul is the most important kind of love. He says the spiritual love between the individual soul and the supreme soul is the most important kind of love. It is only that love that is truly eternal. Actually, every other kind of love we experience is just a reflection of the original loving exchange between the individual soul and the supreme soul. This special love is called in Sanskrit bhakti, and the process for awakening that love is called bhakti yoga, the art of eternal love. Bhakti involves three things: the lover, the beloved, and the loving relationship. In Bhakti, all three are eternal. The lover, the individual soul, the supreme soul is eternal, and the loving relation, Bhakti, is also eternal. Means one should develop love for God. He says here, that requires a special kind of love, the love between the individual soul and the supreme soul. How do we get that requires a special kind of love, the love between the individual soul and the supreme soul, God. Actually, we are caught in a web of temporary, unsatisfying loving relationship because we have forgotten how to love God. The spiritual love between the individual soul and the supreme soul is the most important kind of love. It is only love that is truly eternal. Actually, every other kind of love we experience is just a reflection of the original. So whatever we see in this material world is a perpetual reflection. Like we see tree, the upside down, its shadow. In the shadow, there is no reality. So actually, this material body love is not actually love. Our love is the living entity and so soul and the supreme soul. That's developed love of God. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Any comments, any questions? Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's time over. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai Radhe Shyam. Oh. Yeah, 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
I was going to ask you, the verse explains about Uddhava coming back to Mathura and bowing down to Krishna, and then telling Krishna about the wonderful devotion of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and then telling King Ugrasena, Lord Balaram, Vasudev, and some of the other residents of Vrindavan. So you explain the pastime of Kupja, and somehow they miss the connection. So can you explain the connection?
Yeah. So Kupja had come in a lustful propensity. And whereas the gopis, their love was very intimate. Their love was pure. But here Kupja is coming with a material propensity. But she also was delivered by touch of Krishna. And this is Kupja she also got the position of love for Krishna. So somehow other one comes to Krishna is fortunate like that. She became attracted to Krishna by seeing her beauty for Krishna. But the gopis, they were totally absorbed in Krishna always. They also had the lustful propensity, but their lust was pure, like in other sense. That was not based on the in this. And Kubja did not had some pious credits, but she offered sandalwood. She offered with love and devotion sandalwood to Krishna. So by this act, she got the benefit. Her lustful propensity becomes clear. She became purified. That's what. Yes. I'll just read what Prabhupada. Yeah. 4769. Yeah. Krishna pleases a devotee. She offered Krishna an opulent bed as a mirror. Tripura elegantly washed and decorated herself. Then she approached him. Krishna invited Tripura to the bed and began to enjoy with her in various ways by embracing Lord Krishna. Tripura freed herself to the torment of lust. She then asked Krishna to remain with some time. He then returned with daughter. Apart from offering sandalwood to Krishna, Trivak never performed any pious. Yet simply on the strength of the piety of the single act, she attained the rare personal association of Sri Krishna.
You have to read it slowly.
Yeah, so just he offered a sandalwood to Krishna. Just by this rare act, she got benefit. Just she offered sandalwood paste. She had no pious credit actually. But Krishna, she had told Krishna during the pastimes when Krishna visited Mathura, she was taking sandalwood to Kamsa, but Krishna asked for the sandalwood, but she became attracted by his beauty and she invited Krishna to her home. Then Krishna told, after killing Kamsa, I will come back and I'll fulfill your desires like that.
So the connection could be, as I understanding, trying to understand the connection, is that Uddhava is glorifying the unalloyed devotion of the gopis.
Correct.
And you make the connection that Kubja, although was not, it didn't have this, it has some motivation. It was not in the same level of the gopis, nevertheless.
Correct.
By associating with Krishna, she developed.
Yeah, she offered sandalwood paste.
She achieved some devotion.
Devotional, yeah. In this particular, this also Prabhupada also says here in Nectar of Devotion. On the other hand, the lusty desire of Kubja is described by learned scholars. Almost lusty desire. Kubja was a hunchbacked woman who also wanted Krishna with great ecstatic love. But her desire for Krishna was almost mundane. So her love cannot be compared to the love of the gopis. Her loving affection for Krishna is called Kama Praya. Kama means lust, almost like the gopis' love for Krishna. He says, on the other hand, the lusty desire of Kubja is described by learned scholars as being almost lusty desire. Kubja was almost lusty desire. Kubja was a hunchbacked woman who also wanted Krishna with great ecstatic love. But her desire for Krishna was almost mundane. So her love cannot be compared to the love of the gopis. Her love with affection for Krishna is called Kama Praya. That's the difference here. Kama Praya, the word is used. Kama means lust. Kama Praya. Like that. So this is the difference. See, the gopis were always 24/7 in Krishna. They were remembering Krishna, glorifying Krishna, offering obeisance to Krishna, chanting the glories of Krishna. Those few topics. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai.